To press like and subscribe is the modern day way of paying offers and ties. Don't be scared to comment. Shot by One Shot Productions. We're going to flip William Penn's hat with the Big Moto Show, and I am Big Moto, master of the obvious. Don't be scared to comment. Welcome back to the Big Moto Show. My name is Big Moto, master of the obvious. And the message that I'm here to convey to you is that your parents are your GUIDE, and that's a physical thing on planet Earth. They guide you through life, supposedly, if they have a mentality to do so. And once they die, those lessons stick with you, and they become your GOD because they're no longer here, but they still guide your brain through those physical lessons. And whatever you do for your parents these days, 9 times out of 10, you'll probably do for yourself later on in life. However, it's been a year since I shot my last show. Today, we're going to do the Adam and Eve, Genesis chapter 2. Now, Adam and Eve is a story that everybody know. Eve bit the apple and all that. However, I have a new twist on it. And this twist is coming from a genius that I've developed for the Bible. A genius that I've developed for the Bible. Meaning that during the course of my lifetime, I studied the Bible, and now I believe that I read it in a form of fashion that millions of people will want to hear today from of old. I read the Bible, I believe the way that people will want to hear it, or been dying to hear it, who have died and never heard it, but wish they heard it this way. For those who have eyes, let them see, and for those who have ears, let them hear. We're going to go into Genesis chapter 2. I'm going to play it NIV through the app. I'm going to pause the app, and I'm going to start the app. And I may go back in order to do a recap, in order for you to get the full story or vision for yourself. All right? Again, my name is Big Moto, master of the obvious. And to press like and subscribe is the modern day way of paying offers and tithes. And I don't want you to be scared to comment. Here we go.
Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the 7th day God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the 7th day he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. This is the account.
Now, when he say this is the 7th day he rested from all the work he was done, he is really calling it the Sabbath day. That day was the day that Jesus Christ came and said, why do we celebrate a day and die for a day when man made the Sabbath? Sabbath didn't make the man. So Jesus Christ came back to correct, say you could work on the Sabbath. But here go Adam and Eve's story. We're not going to go. Jesus Christ is further. Here go Adam and Eve's story.
This is the account of the heavens and the earth when they were created, when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens.
That part of the Bible right there means this is the account of the heaven and earth when I created them. Remember, the word earth is female and the word heaven is male. Remember that. So it say now this is the account of the males and the females when they were created, which means conditioned. When the Lord God made the heaven and earth. Now, and the Lord God means, this is a trick. The Lord God means, if we was talking about slavery, the Lord God means how all the slave masters think. So every time you see the word Lord God, that means how all the slave masters work. And when you see the word God or Lord, then you're talking about, if we was talking about a movie, you're talking about Leonardo DiCaprio and Django. All right? So just understand those two characters for now. Oh, by the way, Adam would have been Django in a different form of light before Django got freed. Here we go. Check this out.
Now no shrub had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant had yet sprung up, For the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no one to work the ground. But streams came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground. Then the Lord God formed a man.
Stop right there. That word form means court. Then the Lord God caught a man from the dust of his own in that area, and then watch what happened.
From the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being.
Stop right there. Breathing the breath of life into someone means simply conditioning someone to think the way that you want them to think. In other words, they breathed the breath of life into the natives of America when they came and put their parents on a reservation and put their children into the schools, and then they breathed the breath of life into them. Or when they got Adam, they caught Adam and put Adam in the Garden of Eden and told Adam how to act, think, and all that. They gave Adam, he could not act. Adam on that. He started acting under condition or conditioning. Check it out.
Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. The Lord God made all kinds of trees.
There. There he put the man he formed. There he put the man that he caught. If you put anybody somewhere after you catch them, that's called kidnapping. In Pennsylvania, I think it's like if you move somebody 10 feet, that's kidnapping. Something like that. You can't move somebody 10 feet in Pennsylvania. I think that's kidnapping. But I know for sure that if you catch somebody and put them somewhere, that's called kidnapping.
The eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
If anybody know anything about the tree of life who had children, and then you know anything about how the colonizers attacked black women when they go into the labor room in the hospital, and that black woman want her tree of life, when she want her placenta back, they act like they don't want to give the black woman her own tree of life, the placenta. That's what it's called scientifically. Now, if you want to go into whatever they're going into, the tree of life or whatever, apple on the tree, whatever, I don't know, but then that's something different. But I have discovered on planet Earth that the tree of life is called the placenta. Let's carry on.
A river watering the garden flowed from Eden. From there it was separated into 4 headwaters. The name of the first is the Pishon. It winds through the entire land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of that land is good. Aromatic resin and onyx are also there. The name of the second river is the Gihon. It winds through the entire land of Cush. The name of the third river is the Tigris. It runs along the east side of Asher. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For when you eat from it, you will certainly die."
What the fuck is that?
The Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and all the wild animals.
Stop right there. Now we gotta go back. We're gonna have to go back up. How the hell did God create everything but did not know what a fucking giraffe was, or a panther was, or a tiger was? How the hell did God create this shit and ain't see a gorilla? What the hell is that? So Adam was from the land, like a baby brain in America could name all the animals now that it sees in the pictures, but could you imagine a brain coming down, seeing a giraffe and saying, what the hell is that? But it caught the giraffe and brought the giraffe back to Adam. Adam said, that's a giraffe, that's this, that's that, that's that, that's that. However, I discovered this back when you go all the way back up to Genesis chapter 2, right when they said no shrub had yet appeared on the earth.
Now no shrub had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no one to work the ground. But streams came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground.
Stop right there. No shrub yet appeared on the earth, and no plant had yet sprung up, meaning that they didn't see nobody yet. For the Lord God, that means that how all of them think streams is stream routes were like when you send two receivers out together and they stream, one go this way, one go that way. They was called stream routes. Now, they can just hear the wordplay again, the word stream. They sent streams, so they sent streams. Streams came up into the water, the whole surface of the earth. So they covered the whole territory. Once they covered that territory, then they caught Adam. Here, go right here. Listen.
Now no shrub had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no one to work the ground. But streams came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground.
Right.
Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground,
in that territory,
and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A river watering the garden flowed from Eden. From there it was separated into 4 headwaters.
This is where all the money,
the name of the first is the Pishon. It winds through the entire land of Havilah, where there is gold.
Take that.
The gold of that land is good. Aromatic resin and onyx are also there. The name of the second river is the Gihon. It winds through the entire land of Cush. The name of the third river is the Tigris. It runs along the east side of Asher. And the fourth river is the Euphrates.
Okay, go ahead.
The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it.
All right.
And the Lord God commanded the man, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Go ahead.
For when you eat from it, you will certainly die."
Talking about right there, that's kind of, to me, that's kind of like once a 12-year-old boy touched it's like once a brain that never touched placenta touched the thighs that touch the in between, the thighs. I don't want to get too risque, but you know what I'm saying? Once that brain touched that warmness in that right there, that 12-year-old brain ain't gonna want no goddamn joystick no more. It might want a little bit of joystick, but it's gonna be thinking about their placenta all goddamn day long. That's right there. That brain died. It died from a mentality of a brain that like to play into a mentality that like to feel that placenta.
The Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name.
Go ahead.
So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and all the wild animals. But for Adam no suitable helper was found. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping,
right there, he talking about he gave Adam the truth serum and hit Adam with the truth serum, and that's the information that came out of his rib, was the information of where the village was at. He then closed that ground up with flesh, meaning that he sent the army over there to look for him. When he closed that ground up with flesh, then he grabbed Eve, took him back to Adam to go get him a mate so he could keep control of their fields. Kind of like they didn't want the Indians on the field with the blacks. It was all blacks. Well, after a while, they didn't care who was on the field. Y'all know how that went. But anyway, here we go again.
he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. The man said,
Stop right there. He brought her to the man. He caught the woman, brought the woman back to the man.
Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. The man said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man.
In other words, Adam said, this is bone of my bone. This is my blood. She is from my village. How the hell did y'all catch her? And then the colonizers put this in the air. Don't worry about that. Worry about this.
That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh.
In other words, what he's saying is that leave your father and your mother and go get a woman. In other words, if y'all seen that cotton field, was called like hen housing. Like they would put the woman in the house and chase the man off the field. My grandma said they would put the women in the houses and they would chase the men off the field. So they was creating hen houses. But that's why they in other words, they didn't want the mom and the daughter to stick around together. So what they did was they said, you get a man and you go over there. But then after the man mated with the woman, the white man would go and mate with the woman too. So it didn't matter. That's why the 6th or 7th child would be white. And then that child will have a stain on that. They say, Daddy ain't your daddy. The whole family, nobody in that family like that white. That was some deep shit going on. However, there's other information that needs to go out, such as the 1996 crime bill that's still holding thousands and thousands of innocent, well, not innocent, but Americans and institutions that who are not allowed to get out, who will die in prisons. Again, my dad been in there 43 years. We were shot down by Larry Krasner's DA's office for the CIU motion. And now we're going after the homicide files. And the homicide files is what you have to pay about $20,000 for. And that's like, you got to go to the DA's office. You got to go get a lawyer, and the lawyer got to file with the DA's office for a court date to pull up the old records from 43 years ago so we could go through the district attorney notes to see if there's anything that is missing, anything that was not in the discovery that we should have known about. With that, other than that, he will be spending the rest of his life in prison without a chance of appeal, regardless of the circumstances surrounding the evidence that we've discovered that shows that he has a corrupt trial. That don't even matter because of the 1996 crime bill, and that was something that the Democrats started. Joe Biden and Clinton, and now we got Republicans in office, and Trump, if he can eradicate that, because that's a federal thing, then, yeah, you say, And that's one of the main and lead things that um, makes mass incarceration the way that mass incarceration is. So we're looking to eradicate the 1996 crime bill, and I guess we have to start that by collecting signatures. So I'm going to figure out a way to collect about 8-9 million signatures so we can start getting people together that know things about things and what we need and we don't need. Because I don't know everything that we need and everything that we don't need. But there's people out there that know things that we need on the books and things that we need off the books. And I've discovered that the best way to do these things or to go against Congress or go against the lawmakers are with the American people's signatures. So, we are American, we are the people, and we do have rights, and the government can't just keep dumping stuff on us. If they do dump it on us, I've discovered that we can sign it off us. So our signatures mean something in America. So with that, my name is Big Moto. I am Master of the Obvious. Pressing like and subscribe is the motto that wear apparent office and ties. Don't be scared to comment. Thank you for coming out. Genius that I've developed for the Bible.